Selective obedience. I was at my aunt's old kitchen table, the one with the wobble, when a brother I grew up with said, "Man, God's word says obey." He remembered the boy I was. He never met the man who's been reading for 40 years. I slid the book across the table, which parts. He smiled like it was simple, like it all wore one face, so I told him a story. Back when Israel still counted years by harvest, Leviticus said blow the ram's horn and give the land back. Jubilee, families restored, debts erased. He nodded and said, that was back then. The law turned metaphor the minute it got costly. We turned another page. Deuteronomy told a man if his brother died with no child, marry the widow to raise his name and keep the land in the clan. He didn't blink, just laughed. We don't do that. Right? Because that law fit a world of tribes and fields and clan lines, a world we do not live in. One more page. Leviticus said do not mix fabrics, wool and linen apart. He tugged his blended collar and called it symbolic. Symbolic. Until your favorite verse isn't. I wasn't there to mock him. I was there to say the quiet part out loud. This library was written by men for men in a particular time. Kings and priests, wars and wheat temples, smoke and tribal borders. It can still teach. Wisdom hides in old rooms, but that is not the same as saying it was written to us today. He asked, so what, you don't believe? I said, I believe in honesty more than slogans. If a law needs temple, tribe, theocracy, say that and stop using it like a leash for strangers at brunch. Because here's what I keep seeing. Selective obedience, dressed up as certainty. Jubilee becomes metaphor, leverate marriage becomes history. Mixed fabrics becomes don't worry about it. But some verses, those stay sharp, especially when they cut somebody else. And if one book speaks with one voice, why one Lord and 1,000 doors? One Lord, many mailboxes, that is not rebellion. That is what translation and conscience do. When Latin locks break and people can finally read. I stood from that wobbly table and said my piece. This book can inspire, like any book that carries courage and grief. Faith with works, faith alone, faith in a story. All of it can move a human heart, but the claim you make is different. This book is God's word, and you must obey it. If that is the claim, say it plain, and say just as plain why so much of it turned back then, the moment it cost us something. So here is my altar call. No organ, no lights, we admit it. The Bible was written by men for men in a particular time. Learn from it. Yes. But stop dressing selective obedience up as certainty. If truth is truth, it does not need a costume. If the word is living, let it breathe in its own house, in its time, in its place. And let us read with courage, not fear. And if anyone asks how sure I am, I'll point right back to that wobbly table and the way our answers shake when we refuse to level them.